Hello there and welcome to another live chapter reading for Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Today I shall be reading from Grumbler's Ride, The Satan's Devil's MC San Diego, Book 2 by Manda Mellett. Chapter 1, Grumbler. The whir of the tattoo gun ceases as Blade switches it off. Gotta say that looks good, brother, even if I do say so myself. Here, what do you think? Covered with tats as I am, the only bald spot I had free was under my left shoulder blade. As I can't see it myself, Blaze takes the pic and then passes me his phone. I eye the image he shows me and give a satisfied nod. It turned out better than I'd hoped, even though I should never have doubted Blaze's skills. In addition to my other tattoos, I now sport a skull smoking a cigarette, a tribute to the much-loved brother we'd lost a few weeks back. Geez, how I miss Smoker. He'd been my club brother for nearly 30 years. After the business with Snake and losing 9 members 3 years back, he and I had been all that remained of the old guard. It was easy to figure out how Smoker got his handle. I can't remember seeing him without a packet of cigarettes. Close at hand. Unsurprisingly, it resulted in him receiving a terminal cancer diagnosis shortly before his death. But that hadn't been what killed him. He hadn't faded away, which had been the eventual outcome as he'd refused treatment. It had been his time, and he accepted that. But instead of having those last few months with him, time I needed to prepare myself for his loss, he'd been shot. I'm still smarting from being robbed of those last weeks with him. A few more rides together and evenings spent shooting the shit. Truth be told, I'm not sure if a couple more months watching him going downhill would have helped either, me or him. Seeing him suffering and being unable to do anything to help, Smoker would probably have preferred the end that he had. He died sacrificing himself for the club. Doesn't mean I don't still miss him like fuck, though, which led me here today, honouring him in the only way that I can. You know the drill. Want me to go through it again? Blaze asked while cleaning his workstation. Barking a laugh, I shake my head. With more tattoos than I can count, I don't need to go through the aftercare routine. I could probably teach him a thing or two about looking after newly inked skin. You're heading straight back to the clubhouse, he squirts more disinfectant onto a rag. Fucking right, there's a beer with my name on it. You ready to come, Blaze? What do you think I am, a part-timer like you? Blaze chuckles at the expression on my face. I've got another client coming in soon. Blaze does good work, with the result that the tattoo parlour brings in good money for the club. Seeing him preparing for said new customer to arrive, I wave my hand in a mock salute and leave. Bypassing a reception desk with just a nod at the pretty young thing sitting there, Blaze does the brothers' tats for free. I emerge into the brilliance of late summer's day in San Diego. Taking my shades out of my cut, I slide them on, then go to my Harley that's parked patiently waiting for me outside. For a moment I stand admiring it from a distance. I've no woman or family, never wanted one if truth be told. The only thing I need in my life is my bike. All my spare money goes to maintaining it. A few months back I'd had a spill and ended up dirty side down, hurting my baby as well as nastily breaking my leg. I don't know which one was worse. As usual, I inspect the Harley with a critical eye, seeing if I can spot a remaining scratch which hadn't been fixed, or a dent that's managed to hide up until now. My brothers joke with me for having every Harley accessory known to man and then some. Each chrome edition I polish until it gleams, my normally dour expression lifts at times such as now when I spot the sun glinting off the live to ride plate covering the air filter. It's a beautiful machine, my soul mode of transport and the love of my life. Without my cherished motorcycle or my club, what would I be? A grumpy old man growing sour every day. I saunter over to it, swing my leg over the saddle, grimacing at aches which weren't there before the surgeons had to pin my leg back together, and lean forward to put my key in the ignition. Hey, hold up. At the man's shout, I raise my head, looking round to see whose attention the voice is trying to attract. There's no one around but me and the hippie type, one of the many we get in Southern California, running down the road, heading straight towards me, a card of some sort held in his hands. I frown, wondering what he could want. I could ignore him, press start, then kick down into gear and leave him in my dust. But I admit I'm curious as to why he's yelling at me. I'm blocking no one in, and am for once legally parked. When he gets close enough to speak, I say nothing, just lean my arms over the tank and raise an eyebrow. He's out of breath as he pants out, "This your bike, man?" I admit to feeling a sense of pride as he's all but drooling. "She's mine." She's a real beaut, his eyes taking in everything from the eagle on the front fender to the ornate license plate holder on the rear. Must take you ages to keep the chrome gleaming like that. I admit I prefer to keep her neat myself, but if I don't have the time, one of the prospects will do it. They know if there's as much of a smear of polish left when they're finished, they'll be in for a world of hurt. I tell him none of that, though. He can look and admire, but he's not going to get anything else. By now he's realised I'm not the talkative type and stops waiting for me to answer. The name's Devon Starr. He puts the card he was holding in his other hand and stretches out his right. I stare at it, but I don't take it. The man doesn't look like a Fed or a cop, but you can never be too careful. I haven't lived the biker life for 30 years without becoming ultra-cautious. For a moment he looks dumbfounded, but he recovers fast now, shoving his card towards me. Idle curiosity makes me take it. Devon Starr, photographer. Maybe perhaps he wants to take pictures of my bike. In my head I have an image of my beloved machine on the cover of a magazine, or perhaps a centerfold spread. My heart starts beating faster. Now that I could go for. I raise my eyebrow again. My photos are used on the covers of novels, he preens a little. Many authors come to me for the right picture. Novels, I frown. My dream of seeing my Harley in a magazine for bikers disappearing. What kind of fucking novels? The photographer shrugs. Anything they want, some action and adventure, but mainly their romance. He must notice my perplexed expression. Why the fuck would he be interested in my bike? I can't see how that can sell love stories to women until he adds. MC Motorcycle Club romance is all the rage at the moment. People are crying out for pictures of hot bikes and hot bikes. And your bike is hot, man. My lips curve slightly. You want to take my picture? You think it'll sell books? Geez, I haven't had a compliment like that in years, if ever. Devon looks a bit taken aback and shifts from one foot to the other. No, come on, man, you're not exactly the ideal of what young girls go for. Your bike, yes. Fuck, hell yeah, but you, nah, the age bracket isn't right. Raising all in my eyes, I look up to him through my hooded lids. So let me get this right. You want to use my bike, presumably with another model. His head bops up and down. Yeah, that's right. That's what I want to do. I thought of the perfect place to do it, the beach. We can roll it onto the sand and... His voice trails off, probably at my expression of what blown sand could do to my tank. And as for rolling down near 700 pounds of bike over soft ground, there's no telling what damage it would do. Devilly hastily backtracks. On a sidewalk with the sea in the background, I'm sure we can find somewhere to show it off. And this other model, what would he do? Sit on your bike. Seeing red, my tone reflects it. Ain't no one going to be touching my bike except me. Big fucking disrespect there. No man ever touches another man's ride. The photographer seems unfazed. Well, perhaps we can just stand beside it. That would do. We could make it work. What do you say, man? This motorcycle is wonderful. I really must get it in a shot. I haven't survived being sergeant at arms for the Satan's Devil's MC without having a few wits in my head. Even if my body's a bit slower nowadays, my brain still works fine. Pulling a pack of cigarettes out of my cut, I tap one out. Nowadays I rarely smoke, but it helps me think when I do. Cupping my hand around the lighter, I put the flame to the tip and breathe in deeply. As I'm putting my Zippo back in my pocket, I ask lazily, these models of yours, they get paid? They wouldn't do it for anything else. Devon scoffs. They don't get a modelling fee per se, but when a photo is sold, we share a 50-50 cut. Yeah? I take another drag, then blow the smoke out. Okay, I'm interested. What do the photos sell for? My new smartphone takes some darn good shots. I'm half considering if that's something I could do myself. A computer guy token would help me set up a website, I'm sure. The photographer goes quiet. I nod and tap the pocket where I placed his cards. Presumably your rates are on your website. He sighs. $600 for a single model, $800 for two. I take 50%. The model or the models get the rest. That sounds quite lucrative for not doing much. Aha. I push up to a seated position, folding my arms above my chest. Let's say I'm interested, but if I let you use my bike, she gets an equal modelling fee. What? His eyes go wide. Your bike's not a fucking model, it's a prop. I lean forward and my finger hovers over the push start button. When he's quiet, I push it hard. No, wait a minute, he yells over the sign in the engine. I turn it back off and he eyes my bike once again. If he wants an example of a tricked out Harley, he'll have a long way to go before he finds one better than mine. And finds some asshole who's prepared to have him take photographs of it for nothing. I wait, my face turned towards him with one eyebrow raised. He pinches the brow of his nose and then walks around the bike. Look, how about I give you $100 for each picture sold? How many will you sell? Maybe none, he replies honestly. Your bike on its own won't help sales. It depends on the appeal of the models. If they prove popular, then we're looking at single or double digits. So I may get nothing, or I may get $100 if I'm lucky. Maybe even get up to 4 figures for doing nothing at all. Let me get this right. I bring my bike to a photo shoot, you take pictures, and I sit back and wait for the money to roll in. Or not, as the case may be. That's right, man. He looks over eager, as if he's got me on the hook now, and to be honest, he probably has. I'm proud of my baby and enjoy showing her off. I'm assessing the situation and really can't see any harm in it. My brothers are unlikely to find out. The types of books the picture of my bike would appear on aren't ones that would interest them at all. Why read about the life when you're actually living it? We'd watch Sons of Anarchy, sure, but only for a laugh. All that violence and death was unrealistic. That was the business before the business with Snake, our ex-president who betrayed the club. Living through that had shown perhaps our life is just as treacherous and brutal. Things have settled down now, of course, though I suppose recently stopping a trafficking pipeline across the border isn't exactly quiet, but we don't often do shit like that, thank fuck. The last escapade had my current prayers lost finding his old lady as a result. The only downside was that Smoker had been a casualty. A cough brings me back to the present. As I come back to myself, I realise, like the old man I am, I've gone down a rabbit hole of mental reminiscence. I turned to the photographer and gave him my terms. $250 per sale. His mouth opened wide. Man, that's going to break me. I've got to pay the models as well. How long does the photo shoot last? I query. An hour? 2? When he nods, I say. And for 2 hours' work, you just sit back and let the money roll in. There's the editing, the loading of photographs onto my website, promotion, running of ads. There's a lot more to it than just taking shots with my camera. Twin spots of red appear on his cheeks as though I've insulted his manhood. Once again I reach for the start button. I'm not bothered one way or another. He's the one with the most to lose. 200, and that's my last offer. There it is. I turn and grin at him, giving him a chin lift. 200. I spit on my palm, then hold my hand out for him to shake. He stares at it as though it's a poisonous snake, then tentatively reaches out to take it. His grip isn't firm, allowing me to take the opportunity to show him I might be old, but my strength hasn't gone. He stares at it as though it's give me your cell and I'll call you when I've got the models lined up. Rattling off the number I know by heart, I wait until I'm sure that he's got it. Then I don't dally, starting the engine, kicking down into first and pulling away with the loud roar of my exhaust. On the way back to the clubhouse, I'm grinning. If this comes off, there might be some easy money for me in it. I take my hand off the clutch and stroke the tank of my baby. After all, she'll be doing all the work, if you can call it that. All she'll need to do is sit there and look pretty. And boy, she certainly can do that. I hope you enjoy the chapter reading and that you'll go check out the books. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.